We're just going to get started with a cold open so you all can't see me. We're on the air right now. As you can see, my co-hosts absolutely just troll me. This is what they do. This is how much I mean to these people. Jeff, hey, what's up?
What? Where? Hey, hi. How's it going?
Anna, hi.
Hello. Hi. Sorry, just getting my cigarette out.
She's gone method.
It's okay. It's okay.
Trying to position the syringe correctly.
Because I have a proposition for you.
Mm-hmm. God.
The several $1,000 man is here. And I'm going to have to ask how much it's going to cost me to never have to hear another Pulp Fiction reference again. Ever. On this show.
Is your wife dressed as Virgil?
$1,000 man. It's Halloween. It's our spooktacular. Fightful.com. This is $1 million belt. You guys are the worst. At least Alex dressed up as Goofy. It wasn't like a targeted effort.
Oh, and you know the best thing about this? This was actually my mom's idea.
Ooh. Ooh. So UFC is coming to Perth in February, and I can't wait to kick your mom's ass. I'm going to cover that event live just so I can fight your mom.
You have no chance.
Her mom has a
My
wicked
mom's taking down better men than you.
I have multiple dollars. I can make it happen. Many dollars I have. We had Smackdown live tonight. Had some Halloween festivities of their own. Jeff, what'd you think of the show?
I thought it was okay. I mean, I liked the wrestling on it. I thought was pretty good. My issues are more with story continuity, but the wrestling I thought was pretty good.
Anna.
Yeah, I'm the same. That I was actually impressed by a few angles that I haven't given a crap about before by their in-ring, but the build-up to Survivor Series as it currently stands, given what to expect from the SmackDown team, I'm not too hot on, but we'll get there.
The fact that nobody knows who you two are supposed to be speaks to me. It makes me so happy.
Mm-hmm. That just means that they're as uncultured as you are.
Oh, shit.
You can reach Anna Bauert at Anna Bauert, all one word on Twitter. Yeah, but I agree with her.
Let's get into SmackDown Live. Shane McMahon comes out and kind of describes why SmackDown is so upset at Raw. He kind of indicates that it's because of the draft picks, like because Raw got more draft picks last year. And that even though they put on great shows and great matches and things like that, they were still never seen as the A brand. I wonder if Shane was maybe informed, hey, the reason you're not looked at as the A brand is because you got absolutely hosed throughout some of these transactions. You had people taken from you. You had The Undertaker just pulled from what seemed like it was going to be SmackDown and just thrown on Raw. John Cena taken away too. How are you looking at his reasoning, Anna, for why he facilitated the siege?
I feel like whatever reason he gave for that was very quickly thrown out of the window when he referenced Steph as, unfortunately, the witch is back. And it's just looking like another year of a McMahon feud. And like we don't need that. We don't need this shtick. It doesn't, it hasn't really sustained it for the last few years anyway. But my favorite thing out of all of this is when whoever runs a WWE account on Instagram tagged Shane Thorne as being SmackDown's team captain. So that's my captain, and that's the one I'm going to go for.
I just want to say I am one afro away from being the Samuel L. Jackson in this outfit. and I just realized that. But Jeff, so Shane announces himself as captain of the Survivor Series team. There's history here. Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon. It's something that they can play up. They should play up. But do you think that maybe at least should be a little bit in there? Like maybe Shane holds a grudge against Kurt Angle after all these years?
I'd have loved any of that, especially last week. I think everything about the John Cena, about the Undertaker thing should have been brought up last week. I think everything about the A show should have been brought up last week. They could build these types of stories. They could have talked about SmackDown being bitter towards Raw for weeks now. This is contrived to me. I didn't buy it at all. And to me, it's weird because Shane came off as such a jerk during the invasion of Raw. And now they bring in Stephanie, who is a bigger jerk than Shane, just by being herself and by emasculating people on screen and things of that nature. So and yet here's the other part of this that's an entire disconnect that we're going to have to bring up eventually. Both these teams are going to be babyface heavy. So you have two leaders who are acting like jerks. You have their lieutenants basically trying to smooth things over. And who is the layman, the non-smart fan supposed to root for in this? Or are they being too clever by thinking it's going to be a Rock Cena thing where they actually have Raw fans and SmackDown fans, which they don't because they have WWE fans. It's just, there are stories they can tell and they don't tell them. That's my problem.
First match of the night, 2 out of 3 falls match, a Survivor Series qualifier. Bobby Roode defeated Dolph Ziggler. This seems much more fun as a SmackDown match with stakes than a pay-per-view match without any. I continue to enjoy Roode's blockbuster that he does. Ziggler wins the first fall in 4 minutes with a super kick. Then the second fall happens during the break, which I kind of like because that's some unpredictability. Anna, you don't get to see this, though. Because you don't see what happens during the commercials.
No, we do not. We see Chris Hemsworth flipping out at inanimate objects in Foxtel ads as opposed to any Raw action or SmackDown action. Or SmackDown in this case. But it happened. And this is the thing about, for the last few weeks, from the beginning of this angle, I have not been a fan. I still don't understand why Ziggler just doesn't walk out in silence instead of that stupid damn record scratch. But this match, their in-ring was excellent tonight. Ziggler was selling his ass off, and I think they both looked incredible. And it's just so frustrating because that's kind of, you're missing out on good work anyway, but when you miss out on a pivotal part of a falls match, like, 2 out of 3, and you miss the 2, kind of annoying. I get it from, the unpredictability thing, keep people watching during the ads. That's cool. Just show us.
This match ends up going 11 minutes. Ziggler lands a big DDT and a zigzag for a couple of great near falls. There's a really good callback to the first few matches where they roll each other up and hold the tights. Then Roode wins with the glorious DDT. I like the match. 3 falls in 11 minutes seems to kind of just defeat the purpose of the whole thing. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I agree with that point immediately. I do. I think you shouldn't be having 3 pinfalls within 11 minutes. Ziggler took a weird bump on his leg when he was thrown out over the top. That I don't know if his ankle gave on him there, but that might be something later, but he seemed to work through it. I thought Bobby Roode took a great DDT on the top of his head. I thought that was a nice little visual. I am still slightly uncomfortable with Bobby Roode pulling tights without provocation.
Well, I am too, because I'm afraid we're going to see Dolph Ziggler's ass.
Okay, you know what? I'm thinking it's weird. I'm thinking if there's a guy that turns on this SmackDown team, it's gonna be Bobby Roode, and that these are just kind of subtle hints they're dropping. I hope they don't do that story, but it's something to look out for. It just again, it makes the heel face dynamic a bit weird when Bobby Roode is pulling tights without having been pulled first. I understand doing it in revenge, but the match itself, I thought Dolph was very, very motivated here. which, you know, I mean, for a guy that's taken 2 pinfalls in 11 minutes, yeah, and there's no excuse for having a second pinfall during a commercial break. I'm sorry. There just isn't. You plan out this show beforehand, guys. It's not like sports where it's real and things happen just because. You could have planned out this pinfall better.
Like Alexa Bliss winning with a knockout punch last night, and behind that, I like the idea of this kind of stuff happening way more than I like it in execution.
Yes.
Because ultimately it's like, okay, well, that one just doesn't work for me. Also, I would have liked if they had a pinfalls at 9, 10, and 11 minutes more than I would have 4, 8, and 11. Because if one person got a pinfall like in 8 minutes, then the person should be primed to get another one fairly quickly. You would see that in Iron Man matches where somebody would like crack another guy with a chair. That way he could gain 2 pinfalls to their 1. After 1 pinfall, a guy's going to be a little more wore down. Backstage, New Day are dressed as Jimmy Hart, Akeem, and Brother Love. And Rusev is not happy about it. There's a pretty good segment that leads to a match being made and Aiden English singing. And Rusev Day being celebrated. I really liked this. And we'll talk more about that when we talk about the match. The Women's Survivor Series team is backstage, and Ellsworth is dressed as a dog. Here's the thing. I don't know if he's dressed as a dog for Halloween or if that's just what Carmella makes him wear now. Like, I don't know. But Becky Lynch sprays him with a water bottle, which I found to be wonderful. Anna, Natalya came and put a lot of pressure on Charlotte to get the win. It seems to me like it's a ready-made scenario where Natalya loses, but Charlotte's team wins, and Charlotte has a reason to be like, hey, bitch, sup now?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did a title swap before that. That glint in Charlotte's eye after Natty came in with the settle your tea kettle, Becky. Yeah, so that happened. In terms of Ellsworth, it's like when they say you should dress for the job you aspire to, though, I mean, he's kind of, no one else can play that role. It's just, I get it's getting to the point now where having all the women together makes sense, but same shit as I say every week, because it happens every week. We don't need to see them all together. And was this the only women's thing at all during the show?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's fun.
Got to make time for this Sin Cara promos. We'll talk about that shortly, too. Backstage, Gable and Benjamin reveal that they have a tag title match next week and could replace the Usos at Survivor Series. Then they run back one of the shittiest promos of all time, Gable rapping. Jeff, any chance that these titles change hands? Because I asked because of all of them, and I love Gable and Benjamin, I don't want these two. I want to see the Shield versus the Usos because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it's also classic face heel, so I don't think it's going to. I still think Charlotte's getting the women's title.
But are the Usos heels?
Kind of.
They can really nice lately.
They can play heel in the feud. How about that? There you go. Yeah, I don't think they change. I think it's Charlotte. The Charlotte is going to get inserted into the women's match. That's going to be the one change against Alexa Bliss. Let me backtrack a bit because I wanted to talk a little bit about that segment. I think this is the way to use Becky Lynch, is kind of being serious, but with the hint of her comedy in there, because that she has such great comedy timing when she's not playing everything broad, in my opinion. I thought this was great. I just wish they would have given the women some motivation to want to go after Raw that they could have talked about rather than catchphrases and other things of that nature, and actually had a nice scripted program in here. Just Becky talking and then getting interrupted. It is what it is, but still, it'd be nice to have a little bit more depth to it.
It reminds me of that the pretty cool stipulation that Raw had. It was 2004 when the winners of Raw the winners of the Survivor Series match got to run Raw for a week. Whoever was on the winning team. So like Maven got to make matches on Raw one week. Mm-hmm. Like it was something. It was a reason to care. Just anything.
Yeah, the Chad Gable rapping thing must have made Vince laugh. That's my opinion.
God. Fashion Files is back. Anna, your thoughts on this Fashion Files segment?
I got some of it. Dillinger coming out as 10 was fantastic, and the Uggos, let go of my Uggos. But I've not seen Stranger Things, so yeah, it happened. I don't know. Bludgeon Brothers, they're the ones responsible, as we predicted weeks ago, and I don't think this is a spot for them. And we're getting Jigsaw from Saw because the new Jigsaw movie is coming out. And that's it, pretty much.
I think this is the first thing that they've done that I haven't seen. I haven't seen Stranger Things. My wife just got done watching it, but haven't checked it out. Jeff?
We're 3 for 3. I haven't seen a minute of Stranger Things. I just know I have a lot of friends. Oh, it's so great. Oh, all these references. I go, great. If I could sit at home and watch TV all day, I would have watched it, but I haven't. So there you go.
The newly re-signed Sin Cara, he qualified for the Real Proper Ass Kicking Club because he beat the brakes off of Baron Corbin. I'd like to echo my sentiment about how good Corbin is at brawling, although the commentary screaming "oh" every time kind of annoys me, so it makes me not look forward to his matches. Because that's what they do with every strike. These two work pretty well together. I like that. Corbin tries to yank Sin Cara's mask off, and then Sin Cara just whips Baron Corbin's ass real bad for it. I put this on Twitter, but I can't wait for the tweets and the comments on YouTube. It's not believable for Sin Cara to beat up Baron Corbin when Sin Cara is like 1,000-0 backstage in fights that we know of. This, like, good God, Jeff, he beat the shit out of Baron Corbin.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you got to get those comments because Sin Cara's been so pushed down.
It's more because of size than anything.
Yeah,
that's where I get those from.
Okay, that too. But I mean, we've been made to not care about Sin Cara so much.
Sure.
He also has a shoe deal with Reebok. I found out. I did not know this. Twitter follower appraised me to that, which is interesting. You know what? Here's my problem. I don't mind heating guys back up like this. I think it's a cool thing. I question the timing a bit, because you're trying to make these Survivor Series matches kind of special, and you have this kind of feud in there, which kind of weakens Baron a little bit. I mean, that Miz promo that he was cutting on him already did enough to kind of put Baron in his place. And you know, it's one of those things where, and trust me, man, I loved this brawling. This is what I want in almost every feud. I want that kind of anger. I want that kind of motivation. I like that. I like that he's angry because he tried to take off the mask. But you need to roll the mask up over your mouth when you're cutting a promo. That's all.
Yes. Yes. And WWE had the balls to put a tweet out that said, as if the message wasn't clear. I'm like, you sons of bitches. That has to be a rib. That has to be a rib. Anna, does this lead to a mask versus hair match?
Oh my God. If this was the Indies, yeah, but it's WWE, and no. I loved the angle of this match. I love that he just went straight for the mask. It was completely in line with the douchery of Baron Corbin, and it added something different to this little thing going on. Initially, I forgot why we were having this rematch, and of course, there was that DQ for barely any reason last week or the week before. Jeff brought up a point that I was thinking about during Shane's promo at the start of the show. He said something about he was sitting backstage with the roster coming up with something with the Under Siege plan. And so, you blatant liar, as if you would consult with the roster as to what to do. And it's kind of the same thinking in terms of the stuff that Miz and Baron Corbin are doing on social media. They are writing this feud for them, and it's gold. But WWE and Vince or whatever don't want to just trust, especially guys like Miz who have the talent and the ability to actually do this stuff, to kind of just captain their own angles and let them run with it. And then, I mean, cool that Sin Cara is getting a spot, and I really did like this angle, but where is it going to go, and how is this going to help the actual match at Survivor Series.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, they're in a few weird positions right now because you have all these programs that look like they're set up and look like they're doing something. But then you've got like half the guys, like everybody's booked for Survivor Series. So do they wrap them up before? Or do they extend after? Because Raw doesn't have a Raw only pay-per-view till, God, when? Like February?
January, probably.
Royal Rumble.
Like the second week, maybe.
That's the Rumble.
That's right. Well, there's 5 weeks in January. They could have it the second week, I think.
Yeah, I guess they could. Yeesh. So Jinder Mahal comes out and, like, when he says stuff, I just kind of tune it out. Samir Singh gets tackled, kicked, Styles clash real quick. Jinder Mahal and the Singhs jump Styles. Jinder lays down a really good beating, I thought, on AJ Styles, though. The ring post spot was really good, and then when he bent, he basically bow and arrowed AJ Styles around the ring post. That looked really, really nasty. Anna, there's not a lot to talk about as it pertains to the match. It was a squash. I love AJ Styles squashes. We've seen them over the Singh brothers and James Ellsworth in the past. But Jinder in this spot, it's something we talk about every week, but I thought he did fairly well here, at least with the beatdown.
Yeah, the beatdown worked really well. But unfortunately, this isn't an angle or a championship that people care about anymore. Ben Newton on Twitter said, imagine if AJ had the belt this entire year, what this whole angle and roster would look like. And I mean, thank God for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're kind of the saving grace of SmackDown at the moment. The thing that you did miss in the Jinder promo was him declaring that he will forever be known as the Beastmaster, aka the Master Beaster. And I feel like sorry, I had to. I feel like this whole angle for Mahal and co is like fun play along for them, but for Heyman and Lesnar, this is a shoot. Like, no, we actually mean it, you are nothing kind of thing. So that's an interesting dynamic to look at. And maybe I'm just reading into it a little too much, but that's probably the extent of my interest in terms of the
if a guy doesn't belong, Brock Lesnar is all too happy to let them know about it. I mean, Shane McMahon Shane McMahon didn't call him up, but when they offered Brock Lesnar the match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, he said in no uncertain terms, piss off. No, I'm not doing that. Jeff, this Jinder Mahal beatdown, and when do you think we get a Styles versus Jinder match?
Europe. I really don't know. I don't know if we get one because we don't get it next week. It has to be after Survivor Series. Because
I think it's being advertised for the Raw or the SmackDown that I might be at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Do you think they would wait that long to do it?
Yes, because next week AJ has to have his qualifying match for Survivor Series. Yes.
Sure. I'm very interested in how that go home show for Survivor Series will be. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Raw invasion and stuff like that.
I want to give a little bit of love to the crowd tonight, mostly because it's my old stomping grounds of Norfolk, Virginia.
All those people?
Yeah, those people. I thought they played along well. They didn't trash Jinder, as sucking or chant CM Punk during the beatdown or anything like that. So, they played along with it. That's fine. They played along all night, I thought, and this was the thing I noticed it during for some reason, because I'm like you. I kind of tune out during Jinder segments. I kind of know what to expect, so It's one of those things.
A note that I didn't make on last night's show, post-Raw show that I wanted to, Bayley getting a pop from that crowd was very, very, very big for her, because that was the crowd that booed the hell out of her earlier this year.
Yeah, and they killed her.
Yeah. So, good job, guys. Good job. Rusev with Aiden English defeated Big E with the New Day. I miss seeing Big E as a singles wrestler. And we get that, but he's wrestling as Akeem, and Tom Phillips. I got to give him credit. He calls Big E the A-Team, in line with the A-Team for Survivor Series. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have enjoyed that, but I did. Corey Graves with another another line that I liked when Byron was bashing Halloween. He says, I wish you'd pretend you're Booker T, Byron. Then I'd have a good commentary partner. These two guys, Rusev and Big E, remind me of how good that WWE Haas division used to be, where they would just throw two big guys that were like over 260 in there, and they would beat the crap out of each other. Big E eats it on a ring post spot. Aiden English starts to sing. Xavier plays his trombone. Aiden just jumps onto him for interrupting his song. Aiden gets in the ring, gets a big ending, but Rusev wins with a kick. I had a lot of fun watching this match. I want to talk about the promo or the backstage stuff after, but I liked this match. It was fun. It was cute. It was their Halloween thing without making it completely terrible like last night's. Anna.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Arts Camp Mania 2018 trombone versus operatic stylings. It's kind of funny to see these guys feuding. You'd think New Day would be all on board with Rusev Day celebrations, but this is just a fun match. It was so cool to see Bubba Love and Jimmy Hart by ringside again, and I'm assuming that this is going into a tag thing with Ruthless versus the New Day, and I'm really interested in how this plays out. I'm really looking forward to it.
Jeffrey?
You know, if I could just get back to the early 90s and have these two do a match like a Scott Norton versus a Big Van Vader, it would please me so much. Just two big dudes throwing each other. I liked it for what it was. The distractions and stuff kind of, they get in the way, but it was still a fun match with both guys doing their thing. In the lead up promo, I'm not going to go into the other one until we get to it, but just the stomping of the candy with the little twist of the ankle. Rusev, again, fantastic in just about everything he does. I legit worried about whether or not the trombone was broken after that hit. But that's something only local to me, that I worry about such things. But yeah, it was a good match. And I love Big E as a singles guy. I liked him a lot when he was teamed with Dolph Ziggler in that kind of stable thing they had going with AJ Lee. I thought that was a great pairing. I keep hearing that they're going to break him off to do a singles run, and I just, you kind of wait to see it. But
I hope they don't break him off and still do a singles run, because I think having Kofi and Xavier almost as his cheerleaders would make him a little endearing. If you have a guy like Jinder Mahal, like ironically mocking Big E, because Jinder Mahal got this great opportunity, but mocking a guy who has been a tag team wrestler for the last several years, wanting a shot. And then you've got Xavier, like maybe he doubts himself or something at this point, and Xavier and Kofi are there for him. I think that would endear him even more. And he could, I think he's got that special kind of like babyface, likable charisma that is really, really, really hard to develop today.
Okay. And they did it with the Shield initially. Had them go for the tag titles and U.S. Championship. I mean, there's no need to break these guys up, not with merch sales as well.
They're perfect together. Like, why not just keep it? And if he loses, like he doesn't end up working out as a singles guy, he can throw it back.
I know. I'll be honest with you. It makes more logical sense to keep them together that way. Oh, because friends stay together. That's yeah.
Probably the best thing in WWE canon is that Rusev has been taught what elated means by Renee Young. This is the best. If you go back to September, Renee Young goes, "How elated are you?" And he goes, "What's that mean?" And today he said it like 3 times? He said elated 3 times. That is awesome. That is fantastic. I am a fan of that, and I think Rusev knows how damn funny it is too, because I wonder if that's the type of thing he snuck in, or if like that was written, because either way, it's brilliant, Jeff.
Yeah.
That wasn't written.
That's all I get. That was good. And yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
You all
I
don't
didn't
seem very elated.
No. But it's something I didn't even pick up on originally. But that I love those types of callbacks. There is no better character, I think, other than the heel Sami Zayn than happy, prideful Rusev.
Yeah.
When he comes out smiling and his chest out like this, it's Rusev Day, like that. You know what? I can't. The thing and the other thing that just it cracked me up when Shane sings that terrible off-key note, and Rusev can't even hide the smile. It's so bad. I don't mind him corpsing, because when he corpse, it's hilarious. Happy Rusev is always gold to me.
Yes. Man, how fun! Like, I'm really hoping that that something else fun is done with Rusev Day.
Oh,
It's
there's
just-
unlimited potential with this.
It's over.
Just hope they
People like
capitalize.
it. What else do we got? Shinsuke Nakamura defeated
Hang on, this on Rusev. Sorry.
You didn't say anything.
Because you didn't throw to me, Master Beater. Just on the Rusev thing. I love that he's come forward and he's asked for a chance to be on the SmackDown team. And Shayna said, okay, yes, go up against AJ Styles. And instead of the usual going and sulking that most of these guys do, Rusev is elated that he gets the chance to face AJ for the spot on this team. And then to still be like, yeah, okay, but he's a heel. What? How? No, this guy is magic. And he turns the grumpiest of situations into rainbows and sunshine.
Here you go, Sean Ross Sapp. I'll add something else. I think Corey and Byron were brilliant on commentary during the match, where Byron says something like, it was something where Corey came back and said, that's Rusev Day, not Halloween. And then after the match, Corey goes something to the effect of, yeah, now we should celebrate every Rusev Day by going around houses and getting candy for children. And Byron shoots right. No, that's Halloween, you dummy. I thought they were both really great and on their timing in that segment.
Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Kevin Owens. This is a Survivor Series qualifier, so Nakamura has been added. We're seeing a rarely motivated Shinsuke Nakamura these days, but this was fun. He was laying in his strikes, some good back and forth, but Nakamura controlled the majority of the match. Owens would get the occasional spot, a headlock, a roll-up. Very surprised to see Nakamura taking a super fisherman's buster, but he did on the far side of the ring where it doesn't feel too hot, I'm sure. Zayn saves Nakamura, and that allows Zayn saves Owen from Nakamura from like the jaws of defeat, and then it allows KO to hit a beautiful frog splash. Zayn goes out to clear off the announce table, which is far less dramatic with those little LCD monitors that they have now, that they can kind of just like blow off of the table. Randy Orton comes out, and he's made the table bump his signature, which I love. I think that's great. That he knows which ones are the stiff tables, and he only shows up then. Like, that's the only times he does it. If the table's looking a little flimsy, he's like, not tonight, boys. But Shinsuke Nakamura gets the win. Anna, what'd you think about this and Nakamura being added to the Survivor Series elimination match?
Yeah, I like the match. There's some really cool spots. KO sold Good Vibrations the way it needs to be sold, and it hasn't been in a very long time. There was an awesome counter from the pop-up powerbomb from Nakamura where it flipped him over into a near pin. I really liked it, and then Orton came out, and I feel like he only wants in this feud because he loves working with Sammy so much and not really anything to do with Shinsuke. Yeah, Shinsuke on the team. They showed the thing at the end of the current team, and it's just not very exciting, to be honest. I mean, especially Raw announced that their first member is Braun. Braun is going to destroy every single one of them, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, interested to see who else they add, but more interested to see what happens with all the other guys that don't get on the team.
Jeff, your thoughts?
I'm hoping Orton, between the Singh brothers and Sami Zayn, throws an extra $1,000 to each guy who takes one of these stiff table balls because these guys are just dying on these tables. I think they're actually supposed to break. I think I don't know that for a fact. Yeah, and Randy's sporting a little bit of the silver fox beard going today. I like that. Look, as a man who's getting a little bit of gray when he gets 5 o'clock shadow, you notice these things. Just like I noticed about the hair tonight.
Yeah.
We can have a hair versus mask match.
Plenty of comments about
my hair versus your mask. I like the match a lot. I disagree with Anna, though. I love this SmackDown team except for Shane. I would love it if there was a story where it was Randy thinking he was manipulating the team in terms of the people only he wants to work with, and then Shane just added himself and kind of ruined his plan. But I like this team. I kind of agree they're gonna put Braun over Strong. They may put Braun may be the guy to walk out on his team too, because that tends to be the tendency with these monster type of guys is they find a way to get them out of the match so that they don't have to be eliminated, and then they kill everybody on the way out. But I like both teams. It's just that they're full of guys everybody wants to cheer for, which will make everybody excited. It's just kind of like people like taking sides naturally, I think.
So, do you think this is Randy Orton's way of, in WWE lore, of saying, "Hey, Shinsuke, sorry I RKO'd you after that time we tagged. Like, let's let bygones be bygones." It should be.
Well, they've done the story the past 2 weeks where, I mean, they're both helping each other. So I think they've made up. I would have liked to have seen Nakamura give a little bit of a bow to Orton for the help too. I thought that would have been a nice touch.
I'd like them to acknowledge it.
Somebody says in kayfabe, Shane must have forgot that he got wrecked at Survivor Series last year. No, in reality, I'd say Shane doesn't remember that or anything else about that match.
Concussed after one punch from Jericho saying, "Lighten up."
Not only that, remember the spear. Oh yeah. My God. He got murdered. Yeah. We had a few releases this weekend. Emma, Summer Rae, Darren Young. Jeff, your thoughts on those?
Kind of gave them on Shake Them Ropes with you and Rob, but the Emma one is the one that's most perplexing because it was why they kept her so strong in the Asuka matches. Then seems kind of weird. Darren Young is out here in LA, I think, kind of tipping his toe in acting. So I don't know what's going to go on there. I don't know if he's going to hit the indies or not, but I mean, he was in shape and ready to go when I saw him. And Summer Rae's also out here doing modeling and acting. So, but Summer Rae, I mean, those lingerie football players are no joke in terms of toughness and athleticism. Anybody that was dissing her for any kind of talent or anything of that nature was just way off base. I'm a little bit sad because I thought she overperformed in NXT, and then they just gave her crap on the main roster that she tried to spin into gold a lot of times. Like her work in the Rusev, Dolph Ziggler, Lana angle, I thought was fantastic stuff. Her stuff with Tyler Breeze, I thought was great. I thought her stuff with Fandango was great. I just wish they would have let her go back in the ring and do a little bit more wrestling, to be honest with you, because I thought she could have improved there and really kind of legitimized herself a bit more rather than being seen as a punchline by the casual fan.
Anna, your thoughts on these releases?
It's just a bit concerning, to be honest, especially with, I mean, Jeff hit her on the head with Summer Rae, but with Emma, if this is still residual from the Emelina thing, this is not the way to do it. And I'm sorry, but that's not playing to someone's strengths. That's not that's detrimental to them and to them as a performer and as a character. And just try harder with them. Collaborate with them. See what kind of character that they're good at, what traits that they want to accentuate, and that's what makes a good gimmick. But if this is their solution, instead of actually, I don't know, hiring writers that know how to write for these people, and then by these people, I mean women in particular, you're going to end up with a very small female roster. And it's like, she's talented as hell. She can deliver in ring. There is no real explanation as to why this happened.
And that's the real loss here, is that she is probably top 3 or 4 in the ring that they could put out there and actually do. But I have a question for you guys, because it was something that came up on Twitter. I saw as a point, and I went, that's making me think. So I'm going to bounce off you guys. That the women's division is pretty much back to being what it was 4 to 5 years ago, even before this women's revolution, kind of in the way that they treat it. I know they're giving them longer matches, but it's one of those things where it's like they're giving longer matches to fill space, but they're not getting over as performers in those long matches. It's one of those things where it's almost like someone's trying to prove a point, but I don't think it's that either.
It's that WWE thing where they're like, well, okay, you can be over, but not right now. Wait.
Yeah.
Be over here in a few months, but not while she's over. So we want you to be over, not you over. It's so weird, man.
And it's 50-50, and they have them against each other week after week after week doing these long matches where nobody seems special. I mean, and then they kind of they rationalize it like, oh, well, Emma looked strong in this match, ergo when we put her in another program now, she'll look better. Or like the way well, no, I'm not saying that about the Asuka thing, okay? I'm just saying that in general, because they did the same thing with Bayley in the Alexa Bliss program, where it's like, oh, she accidentally hit her head on the turnbuckle. That's why she got DDT'd. Or she couldn't, they come up with these weird excuses to make the baby faces look dumb in the 50-50 losses, and then they lose. I mean, Becky Lynch has had this problem for months now in terms of just music. I'm getting distracted for now. I'm getting rolled up and pinned after having a
lazy. There's no diversity on the creative team. Go ahead.
Exactly. And it's the same thing as, the heel women, they kind of know what to do, but only to the extent of Mean Girls. And I mean that wholeheartedly. They are writing these women like Mean Girls. In terms of babyface, I don't know if they've never had a positive interaction with a female. I don't know. Maybe you should get out more if that's the case. But it's, hire people who can actually write this stuff. There was a statistic that came out about a month ago. 40% of viewers now are women. So if you're actually getting these eyes on the screen, you capitalize on that. If you're so set on capitalizing on India because that's a solid market to tap into, what do you think this is? And by having this kind of shit week in, week out, it's frustrating to watch. And there is nothing to invest in. It doesn't matter how good your talent are. There's nothing
no build.
To invest in.
There's no build to it. So you can't heat up a feud by giving stakes if there's no build to any of these feuds, because you have 6 women on each roster, and all 6 of them are fighting each other either in one match every week, which is the SmackDown problem, or against each other week after week after week after week, which is the Raw problem with the 3 hours. So
we get the inevitable backstage arms folded promo where they're sitting there looking pissy at everybody else, and then, we got to work together a little bit.
This is actually the best thing that could have happened to Emma, because she's going to absolutely destroy it on the indies.
If she wants to work the indie circuit, she's going to do real good.
Oh, yeah. Well, for what she can do. I mean, there's Stardom. Look, give me Emma and Toni Storm any day of the week in Progress as a special attraction, and that's going to draw a lot of people over there. I mean, the places that are going to help her if she doesn't go to TNA, because I could see her going to TNA pretty strong, especially it being in Canada. But with Ospreay going to Australia and trying to help those indies, and with the European scene being what it is, and also getting much more diverse, she's not just going to have to be relegated to a Shimmer or Shine here. And there's also Stardom if she wants to go there. So, I mean, she has options.
Joey Ryden put out a tweet this week, which made a really good point because people said something about not wanting to go to WWE.
Wrestle Circus. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was saying, well, why would I want to go to WWE? The difference between the indies and that is the indies, you have to rely on yourself to get there. WWE, you have to rely on the person at the top liking you to get there. Mm-hmm. And that's, at the end of the day, if this is the stuff that they're presented with in this company, they are better off walking and doing their own thing. Yeah, it's a lot more work, but if you have the drive, and these women, a lot of them do have the ability, it just seems like it's such a waste of talent and time to be sitting around in these shitty segments.
I'll tell you what isn't a waste of time. Fightful.com, where everybody can go get their crazy UFC 217 coverage. GSP returns this Saturday. He's fighting Michael Bisping. There's a bantamweight title fight, Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I think Joanna Jędrzejczyk is the greatest female fighter of all time across any sport. Check that out. UFC 217. We have live discussion. We have a post-show podcast Saturday night. We have a preview up right now on Fightful.com and FightfulPods.com. Sunday night, I will be doing a solo podcast for the Impact Bound for Glory post-show. We have live discussion of that as well. Tons of podcasts over at Fightful. Tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, that is 3 p.m., The List and your boy. Every single day you go to Fightful.com, you will see something there that you only get at Fightful.com. Some piece of exclusive news, some interview, something like that. So make sure you all check it out every day. Jeff, tell the peoples where they can follow you on Twitter. I appeared on Shake Them Ropes this week.
Yes, you did. Rob wanted to do an episode about the releases on Sunday, so we dropped the short one then. This week is going to depend on when the World Series finishes up. If the Dodgers somehow hold on and win this game, go to a Game 7, it's going to be later in the week. Your boy may be going to Game 7, so he's excited about that.
You paying for the $7,000 tickets?
I didn't. I have friends who may have a ticket for me. That's what I'm kind of excited about. I had people trying to get rid of $7,000 tickets today, which is very weird. But and we'll talk more about Raw, the build to that. Braun coming out of a trash truck, and probably a little bit of Leo Rush Twitter talk as well.
Yes, I have some of that up on our YouTube, Fightful.com. And youtube.com/Fightful. I've been posting these news updates. I'm going to start doing them for MMA as well. So be on the lookout for those. Subscribe. Let people know about them. Share those. It really helps me. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. Make sure you follow individual community guidelines. Anna, tell the people where they can follow you.
At Anna Bauert, Bauert. Possibly doing a Survivor Series Most Ridiculous. Not too sure yet. Figuring out timing. If you would like it, tweet me and let me know.
Throw money at her.
Like.
Ooh, Anna.
I don't have the time.
Anna.
Okay,
all this money you're getting us demonetized for. I had to fit it in today. But the $7,000 man.
Yeah. But yes, it's more about what content people want to see. So, yeah.
Until next time, guys, follow me on Twitter at Sean Ross Sapp. Follow us at Fightful Online. Please go click that follow button. Please do it. We're out.